For thousands of years, man has been getting better, thanks to one single thing: medicines. Medicines means we can treat everything from made-up diseases like the plague to modern epidemics like allergicness to bread. The ancient Egyptians thought that onions were medicine, but they're not. They literally didn't know they were onions, and that's where we get the phrase from. Of course, today we now know that onions are not a medicine. Onions are disgusting. But the best kind of medicine is a vaccine, because it stops you needing medicine in the first place. The world is waiting for a vaccine for the coronavirus, but we don't have one yet. To find out more about it, I spoke to an expert, but I had to do it on a computer, so it sounds a bit shit. Hello, who are you and what do you do?
My name is Professor Andrew Pollard, and I'm Director of the Oxford Vaccine Group.
You sound like an expert. What's your background?
My background is in developing and evaluating vaccines, but I also work in the infectious diseases of children, so have learnt a bit about viruses that affect children over the last 25 years.
No, I meant, what's your background? What is that, your office or your living room?
This is my office here, which is where I'm spending a lot of my time at the moment working on vaccines for coronavirus.
What's that thing on the wall? It looks like a big stain. It looks like damp.
It's actually a map of Nepal.
Why is it called the coronavirus?
Well, it's called the coronavirus because of the appearance of the virus. All around the surface of the virus is this spike protein that looks like a crown, so the coronavirus.
Doesn't look like a crown to me. It looks more like a big football. Sometimes it looks massive. Like when I've seen people standing next to it on the news, it sort of comes up to their waist. How's that going to get up your nose?
Yeah, so the way that the virus is presented on news stories is a blown-up picture. It's actually so tiny that you can't see it. Even with a normal microscope, you can't see it.
Is the virus alive?
That's a really good question. It is difficult to answer that question. Some scientists say viruses are not alive, and some say they are.
So the virus might not be alive like spiders. My mate Paul sent me this thing on YouTube which proves that spiders are actually alive. They just look as if they are, and no one knows what they're made of. Yes,
I mean, I think we do know a lot about spiders, and it's very clear that they are alive, that spiders are alive.
Do vaccines always have to be injected? You know, or no, could you make like vaccine biscuits or something?
So vaccines don't always have to be injected. There's an influenza vaccine which can be squirted up the nose.
Has anyone thought about trying to miniaturise a doctor and inject him into the body so he can fight it hand to hand?
Well, I think the problem with that idea, apart from the physics of it, would be that a single doctor would have a really big task on their hands.
But if they whittled it down to the doctors who could do karate and stuff, how many miniaturised doctors would you need? Say like 30?
I suspect that the simplest way of approaching this would be to have one doctor or a nurse who was able to provide a vaccine that was effective and protect people so that we didn't have to go down that route in the first place.
Sorry, I wasn't listening to any of that. A delivery slot just came up. How do you hang up on this thing?
Well, I think you have to click leave and then you leave.
Right now, a coronavirus vaccine is on trial, but we'll have to wait to discover if it's guilty or not. Although, in more positive news, my supermarket delivery arrived and the only substitution was hash browns instead of potato waffles. Next time on Moments of Wonder, I'll be asking why there's more water in a tap than you'd expect.